Hello, my name is Ana Solano, and today I will be talking about the Salvadorian culture. The culture of people reflects its history, and El Salvador is a country full of living traditions that reflect its history and cultural diversity. Its belief over time have transmitted their knowledge and values from generations to generations. Through oral traditions, myths and legends, rituals and festivities, and artistic expressions that give life to their identity. Traditional gastronomy, for example, not only satisfies hunger but also tells story of origin, resistance, and creativity. All of this is part of the intangible cultural heritage, a priceless treasure that must be preserved and valued. Today, I will tell you a little about each of these elements to understand their importance and the preservation for our roots and their impact on life today. Salvadoran folklore and tradition. Salvadoran folklore is a collection of legends, myths, stories, songs, dance, and popular belief passed down orally through generations. It reflects the identity, values, and history of the Salvadorian people, blending indigenous, Spanish, and African influences. Salvadorian traditions include the customs, religious celebrations, festivals, typical food, and everyday practice inherited from past generations. These traditions are an essential part of the national cultures and are seen in events like patron saint festivals, Holy Week, and tradition cuisine. Oral traditions, myths, and legends. It's very likely that when we are little, we hear stories from our parents or grandparents that make us very scared. Today, we are going to know the legends of El Salvador that more than once took our sleep away. In El Salvador, oral tradition has been a fundamental means of transmitting values, knowledge, and belief from generation to generation, especially among indigenous people in rural communities. Through stories, songs, and folk tales, important aspects of the country's cultural identity are preserved. Among the most outstanding elements are myths and legends, which mix the magical with the everyday and reflect both the fear and wisdom of the Salvadorian people. Have you ever wondered what's the difference between myth and legends? Today, I will tell you. A legend is a story that usually has a real fact or character, but embellished it with fantasy and is set in more specific place in time. It's something supernatural. In contrast, a myth explain the origin from the word or great phenomena with goods and fantasy begins in a very ancient time. These are elements of each country's folklore. Some well-known legends include the Siwanaba. It's a spirit that appeared to an unfaithful man with the appearance of beautiful woman who transformed in something frightening. El Cipitío. It's a mischievous child with a big dot hat that represents innocence and punishment of past mistakes. Some are myths are like Mal de Ojo. It's is one of the most popular myths for El Salvador. It say that there are people who have a very strong spirit and just by seeing or admiring another person, they can give him eyes. This is very common in young children's. The evil eye, or like mal de ojo, manifests itself with vomit, diarrhea, and general decay, and can lead of death. To contract it, you should visit a like curandero who use certain herbs, include root mixed with alcohol and tobacco through the body, and of the affect person. And also the other one means is like pasar por debajo de la escalera, or passing under the leather, is considered that the bad luck. And the other one, these stories is not only entertain, but it also tells moral lessons, promote aspect for natural, and help preserve the country's historical memory. And it's many more, but we don't have too much time to explain all the myths and legends, but we have a lot about oral traditions, myths and legends. Rituals and festivities. Rituals and festivities in El Salvador are living expression of its cultural identity. Many of these celebrations combine indigenous, Spanish, and religious elements as a result of cultural syncretism. El Salvador, it is a country that full of living tradition that blend the indigenous, the Spanish, and the religions. These customs are expressed in ancient rituals and colorful festivities that exchange the identity of its people and celebrate both the faith and joy of the Salvadorian people. Traditional rituals include the blessing of corn, praying with medicinal plants, and practices to cure the mal de ojo or susto. Popular and religious festivities I highly anticipate celebration through the countries. Some of the most important are fiestas patronales, held in each town in honor its patron saint. Semana Santa, or the Holy Week, we with processions and sawdust carpets. At Soul Day, like Dia de los Muertos on November 2nd, where people visit the cemeteries to remember their loved ones. Carnaval de San Miguel is full of music, paredes and joy, praise and joy. Christmas and New Year, family celebrations full of traditions and typical food. An outstanding folklore expressions is the Torito Pinto, a traditional dance that is present in many patron saint festivities. This dance represents the struggles between go- good and evil, and star a person distinguished as a bull made with wooden structures and painting cloth. How runs after spectators with rockless and drum sounds. The Torito Pinto is a symbol of the joy, mischief, and color of Salvadorian culture. Artistic expression. In El Salvador has a rich artistic tradition that include paintings, literature, and poetry. Among the most outstanding painters are Fernando Llor, with his color and folklore style, Carlos Cañas and Camilo Mireno, who express social and political themes through art. In literature, authors such as Salarue, Manlio Argueta, Claudia Lar, and Roque Dalto have left a deep mark with words that reflect Salvadorian life, identity, loves, and social struggles. Popular poetry and indigenous oral tradition, which are part of our country's intangible heritage. also stand out. Museums, theaters, and cultural centers help preserve and disseminate these expressions. Traditional gastronomy. The traditional cuisine of El Salvador is a blend of indigenous and Spain influences, known for its homemade flavor and use of ingredients like corn, beans, rice, plantains, and dairy products. The most iconic dish is the pupusa, of course. Thick corn tortilla filled with cheese, beans, or pork, served with pickled cabbage, or like we call curtido, and tomato sauce. Other typical foods include tamales, yuca with pork, like we call chicharrón, sopa de gallina india, and plantains, empanadas, nuegado de yuca or cassava nuts, traditional drinks like corn atoll, Salvadorian horchata, and chicha showcase the country's culinary creativity. Popular desserts include like torrejas, like sweet bread in syrup, milk fudge, and coconut candy. Overall, Salvadorian cuisine is flavorful, diverse, and an important expression of national identity. And also, all all gastronomy from El Salvador is so delicious, and I miss it. Intangible cultural heritage. Intangible cultural heritage refers to the practices, expressions, knowledge, and skills that communities, groups, or sometimes individuals recognize as part of their cultural heritage. This type of heritage is passed down from generation to generation and is continuously recreated over time, adapting to changing environments and social conditions. Of course, the intangible cultural heritage of El Salvador includes the costumes, belief, celebrations, oral traditions, dance, music, and craft that have been passed down from parents to children for many years. These traditions are part of the Salvadorian people's identity and help keep their culture alive. There are not things you can touch, like a church or painting, but things you can feel, do, or say, like a traditional song or popular celebrations. Some examples in El Salvador are legends like La Ciguanaba, El Cipitío, Patron Saints Festival with music, traditional food, and praise. The dance of the historians, an old dance like tell story. Making craft like hammocks, embroidered clothes, or pottery. Traditional food like pupusas, which come from old um, customs. Taking care of this heritage is very important because it shows our history, our roots, and what make us unique as Salvadorians. In conclusion, Salvadorian culture is a living reflection of the history, identity, and spiritual richness of its people through its folklore, oral traditions, myths, and legends. El Salvador preserves and transmits the values, teachings, and beliefs that have shaped its society. Its rituals and festivities brings communities together to celebrate faiths and customs, while artistic expressions such as painting, poetry, and music showcase the creativity and sensitivity of the Salvadorian people. Traditional gastronomy not only delights the sense, but it also tells stories of heritage and identity. All of these elements are part of our country's intangible cultural heritage, a treasure that must be valued, protected, and passed on to future generations, as it represents the every essence of what it means to be Salvadorian. Thank you for watching this video. See you next time.